Corpus Christi's Classic Hits, Big 93.9. It's Hitman with you, and I have on the phone right now Dewey Bunnell of America, who America is coming to the American Bank Center this Saturday. Dewey, how are you?
I'm doing great, Hitman. Thanks for having me.
Now,
the minute there, I thought it was Tin Man, but it's Hitman.
So where are you at right now?
I'm in Southern California. My wife and I have a place here, and we split our time between there and northern Wisconsin.
Oh.
But this is our base, and this is where the band is based. So we're going out again. We're so thrilled to be able to get back out on the road. We got in 39 shows last year, and Corpus Christi will be our 7th here in 2022, so we're grateful. We're working. We're playing.
Well, and a big congratulations to you celebrating your 50th anniversary. How does it feel?
Well, it's been, I don't know where the last 25 went. And by the way, technically we're into our 52nd year. We started the 50th anniversary in 2020. That was going to be our big come-out 50th anniversary. Of course, we've been in hibernation since then, and now we're coming back out. So 52 years playing live since we were late teenagers, and it's great. It feels good. It's just unbelievable that much time has passed.
Now, if people have been living under a rock, of course, we want to talk about America. And you started when you guys were teenagers, but you guys were in London, England, right? When you started the band, right?
That's right. We were talking off air about the Air Force, the military. Our dads were in the Air Force, so turned out we coincidentally our families were all stationed there in London, late 60s. My family went out in 66, and Jerry had come from Germany where his family was. And anyway, we all met up in an American high school there in London, and it was a terrific time to be, these American teenagers and all the music scene in the swinging 60s there in London was happening. But we had that one common thread that we were all music nuts, and we were writing. Well, ultimately, we ended up writing all of our own material. We became singer-songwriters, and but yeah, we broke there. We got signed to Warner's there. We made the first album there, Horse with No Name, and that was our big breakout. The first tour we did in the U.S. was a club tour in early '72. That's when we came back, and by the end of that 6-week tour, we had arrived, baby. The first album and Horse with No Name were blowing up, and we were really thrown into the deep end of the pool at that point.
Yeah, I mean, and you've worked with some very, very big names. I mean, signed on with David Geffen, and you worked with George Martin with the Beatles. It's phenomenal.
Well, we didn't work with the Beatles, but George Martin certainly produced the Beatles, and we met the Beatles, and at one point or another, we met all those guys up until. It was a wonderful career. Those George Martin years were 74 to 80. We just blocked that whole time. We made some great records with George. Rest in peace. He's gone now, but we loved him, and he mentored us. And yeah, we've been lucky. David Geffen and Elliot Roberts took us on as management as soon as we came out to L.A., and they already had a huge stable of a bunch of our favorite singer-songwriters we looked up to. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, of course, were linked to almost as clones or whatever. Neil Young was in that office, Joni Mitchell. The Eagles were just starting, so we palled around with the Eagles, and their first album was being made. And our first opening acts, because we had the hit, and we were climbing the charts, Jackson Browne opened one of our tours, our first big tours, and J.D. Souther, who was also in that camp, the Eagles camp, and was writing, and he was great. So we were off to a bang-up start in those early infancy of our band. We were really only 3 guys sitting on stools, so we had to quickly rustle up a rhythm section, a drummer and a bass player, to knock this show into shape based on one album, really, and then the second album was already in its embryonic stages, and we were writing songs for it, which included Ventura Highway, and so we were working those songs out on the road. But it was really a whirlwind time.
Yeah. We're talking with Dewey Bunnell from America, who the America going to be performing this Saturday over at the American Bank Center. Tickets are still on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com at the American Bank Center box office. Besides, of course, headlining a lot of great tours, I was actually watching some great interviews that they've had with you throughout the years, and you've actually America's opened up for big bands also. I saw one part where you said you saw an old poster where you opened up for Pink Floyd.
Yeah, we did. That was before the record even broke in England. We met the right people in London somehow at this young age of 18, 19, 20 years old. And this guy named Jeff Dexter, who was a celebrity around London. He was like an MC compere, kind of you'd call him an influencer or a mover and a shaker guy. Mm-hmm. And he got us on the bill with The Who and Elton John and Traffic. We did 2 shows actually opening for Pink Floyd. And we just were these 3 American kids on stools playing our handful of self-written songs. But yeah, I think the big thing for us at that point was we nailed down the opening act slot for the Cat Stevens tour of Europe.
Oh wow!
And that really lifted our profile. But we were playing a lot of pubs and colleges around England, and taking the ferry over to Holland and playing a bunch of staying in youth hostels. It was really in the trenches in those early days.
Yeah.
But then when we got to the States and we had the hit, we did a lot of co-bill tours with the Beach Boys in particular. I think we probably played more times with the Beach Boys over the years than anybody from the early 70s on. And Chicago, good friends of ours. A lot of the classic rock bands that we all know and love.
Yeah.
We were still the kind of new kids on the block, and they're a few years younger than most of them, so we looked up to them and learned a lot touring. And
if you could write a book, I bet you it would be a #1 bestseller in the New York Times with some stories.
For what we didn't write it, but we do have an official autobiography or a biography called America the Band, an authorized biography for what it's worth.
Wow.
And our buddy Billy Bob Thornton wrote the foreword on that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Jerry might be sketching out a book. I don't know. That's something I might think about. But
well, if you know how now the thing is going on with biopics that are coming out now, if they make a biopic of America, who would you want to play you?
Oh my gosh, what a question, Hitman. I have no idea. Hopefully a good actor. But I don't hold your breath on that one. But,
so of course,
we're very grateful for the career we've had, and it has got legs, and we're finally convinced that we're the real deal. So the music is what carries everything, and that's what stays eternally young, and it continues to get play. And with streaming services and every other known outlet of music, we still find ourselves, being played in the grocery store and everywhere we turn around. So, there's a lot of gratitude and surprise about that, I think.
Yeah. We're talking with Dewey from the band America at the American Bank Center, and to talk about the show that's coming up on Saturday. What can people expect with your show this Saturday?
All right. Well, we're a 5-piece band. We play about 90 minutes. We've got a great younger drummer and guitar player in the formation these days. Over the years we've had several players in the band, but so Steve Feckety on lead guitar, Ryland Steen on drums, and our old veteran bass player Rich Campbell. So it's 5-piece. The core songs, the songs in the set are the hits. You can't get away without playing all the hits. Fortunately, we've gone through decades and had a nice cross-section of songs. But we pull out a few surprises from album cuts, and we do a couple of covers. Because of the George Martin history with George, we do a Beatles song, and we do another cover of California Dreamin', which we were hired to do a recording for a movie years ago. So we always loved that song. We kind of grew up with it. We used to play it in high school. So, I think probably one of the most common comments after an America show is, I didn't realize you guys had such high energy, because the songs, we tend to be thought of as this middle of the road, soft rock, whatever. And there are ballads, and they're beautiful ballads, and there's a lot of vocal harmonies, a lot of dynamics. But we stretch out on some songs. Like I say, with Steve Feckety on lead guitar, he just has really expanded and blown up some of the songs. We do a medley of a song called Cornwall Blank and another song called Hollywood, and that medley stretches for several minutes with a lot of solos and fun in it. And then the set grows into, by the end, we're playing Sandman, which is an extended version of Sandman, and Sister Golden Hair, and and then there's Lonely People and Thin Man and Ventura Highway, the hits, basically.
So what song to you never grows old and you love playing it every single time?
Well, of the hits, I would probably immediately say Ventura Highway. I don't know why. It still sparks a little of that youthful excitement about life. The sun and surf, the free wind blowing through your hair, alligator lizards in the air. I'd have to go there. I have a lot of favorites from obscure albums. I have to tell you, after 50 years, we made a lot of records that didn't see the light of day hardly, but there's songs on them that I still love, and I'll revisit them now and then. I don't listen to myself much anymore, but there's some great music in the catalog, as it were.
There you go. All right, we're talking with Dewey from America, playing this Saturday over at the American Bank Center. Tickets are still on sale right now at Ticketmaster.com, the American Bank Center box office. Again, big congratulations to you, celebrating 52 years together, and looking forward to seeing you this Saturday. Is there anything you'd like to tell your fans, one last thing before you go?
Well, we're just thrilled to come back to Corpus Christi, being in Texas again. We toured a lot over the years everywhere. It's been a while since Corpus Christi, but we have the greatest fans in the world, and we can't wait to play for you. And we're looking forward to it. I mean, we're really chomping at the bit because it's been so long since we were off for 17 months. Wow. And now we're actually playing. And we want to thank everybody, all the listeners and people coming out to shows for supporting live music, because we're going to give you our best.